They have the cleanest air and water and the cleanest food just about anywhere. Their cold little country is neither as cold nor as little as you think. Iceland is up next on Chef's Afield.
Medium rare.
Chef Jeff Tunks of the nation's capital. His restaurants? DC Coast, a seafood establishment. Tenpenh, serving contemporary Asian. And Ceiba, with a Cuban flair. Jeff serves produce grown in the DC area and travels to Iceland for the incomparable lamb and fish, because there's no place quite like this island country for taste, purity, uniqueness of flavor. Iceland is the same size as Virginia or Ireland, but with just 280,000 men, women, and children, and twice as many sheep, plus traditions that go back 1,100 years. If it weren't for the sheep, there would not be an Iceland, says the herder. And if not for the cod, there would not be so much civilization around the North Atlantic. The cod, one of the great food fishes of the world. 1,100 years ago, Viking settlers, their small boats packed with tools, seeds, preserved foods, and sheep for breeding, sailed into these clean, pure waters. Today, these waters are as pristine as they were then. Chemicals, pollutants are not allowed. Industry is kept at bay. There are not even 1,000 souls populating this remote stretch of Iceland's northeast coast, near fjords. What people rely on is the cod. Cod fishing is Iceland's most productive work. Mention Iceland, and American gourmands' eyes widen as they gasp. Oh, that fish.
It's gonna be a nice day, huh? For fishing.
A beautiful day.
So what are we fishing for today?
We are fishing for cod.
Yeah?
And we're going to go about 4 miles.
4 miles out?
Oh, 4 miles out, yeah.
Great. I can hardly wait.
Good fishing.
Christian Owl Steinson is the son of a fisherman, who was the son of a fisherman, who was, and so on, going back a dozen generations. Before they can walk or talk, they are shown the hooks and lines, and the brave little boats that, in Christian's grandfather's time, were made by hand.
You do a lot of fishing?
I do some, yeah. You know, where I live in Washington, D.C., I live on the Potomac River, but I would not eat the fish I catch here, because that's a sad thing to say.
Yeah.
Not like this water.
Okay.
So all this is just the Atlantic Ocean and some of the glacier runoff, I guess.
Yeah.
The fisherman and the chef are in waters in the northeastern tip of Iceland, only a short sail to the Arctic Circle. The cod, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, sometimes 100 pounds or more, remain in great abundance in these Icelandic waters. For generations, the fishing was done by hand. In modern times, technology is applied.
So how does it work now? This is an automatic line.
Yeah. And
This lever drops the line down?
Yep. It will sense when the lead hit the bottom.
The weight will hit the bottom of the
and then it will pick it a little bit up, and then it will start to go up and down.
Like jigs it almost. So.
Now we are putting some coupling on the hooks.
This is the Tenpenh fish,
Yeah.
right?
It's a good bait.
Good bait for the cod.
Yeah.
How deep are these rigs set up to go, the line? I mean, how deep can you go fishing with these?
60 fathoms.
Fathoms?
Yeah, fathoms. Oh, we got a big one.
Yeah, look at the size of this one. Whoa.
Even 2. Well, we got us a cod. It's about, 2.5 kilos, 3 kilos.
This is a good size cod here. You could get some good size fillets off this. And when they get this big, you can almost take the cheeks off right here. That's a real delicacy, is the cod cheeks itself. Those little pockets of flesh, almost the size of a small scallop or something when you take them out. Now, what makes the quality of Icelandic so renowned in the food world? I mean, we always hear about Icelandic cod being the best cod out there.
I think it's the freshness and how it's processed.
And also the purity of the environment here has got to be
Yeah,
the
pure
unique part of
environment.
it. I mean, there's no pollution, no runoff from factories and that kind of stuff in the water. And
They fish against the backdrop of unspoiled coastline. Indeed, people here grow up with the understanding that they are the caretakers of air, water, land, nature itself. Most of the vessels are day boats, out in the morning, back in the late afternoon. That means this fish could be on your plate in just a few hours.
cod is such a flaky, tender fish that if you really mishandle it, and that's why I think Iceland's really known for the way they handle their fish, as Christian was saying, that they really take care of it from the water to the final shipping point. It's very rare to see somebody that treats it so well as Iceland does. As a fisherman, and as you're living off fishermen, obviously it's important to care for the environment.
The environment is the fundamental issue in this fishing. That we are sure of that we have the best quality, best cleanest water. That's the main idea.
And it shows in the quality of fish that you guys catch.
Yeah.
And how can you beat working in an environment like this on a daily basis? I mean, this is
beautiful. That is the best part of being a fisherman.
Travel across Iceland, north to south, and move to this country's other main chance, sheep. Travel across the glaciers to the wild pastureland for another pure Icelandic ingredient, lamb. Sheep, the backbone of the countryside, a pure breed, direct descendants of those brought over by the original Viking settlers. Considered one of the oldest, purest of breeds anywhere. They roam free, no fences, no boundaries, more than 400,000 of them in all. There is a safe place for the sheep where they spend the long summer days, the central highlands tucked in among the glaciers. Feeding on the natural mosses, grasses, and berries, raising the young, the sheep spend a peaceful summer, foraging, roaming free. Each September, the sheep are slowly moved down from the hills, herded by the farmers on horseback. For 6 or more days, they walk, stop for a rest, and walk some more as they move toward home. Sheep herder Getty Thorgerson is one of the farmers that others look up to. They work together in this part of the island, outside of the town of Fleda, 2 hours north of the capital, Reykjavik.
We have here some 3,000 sheep, I think.
3,000 right now?
Running down.
And how many farmers are representing this in this
I
3,000?
would guess there are some 20 farmers who own these sheep.
And each farm takes place with the horses going in the mountains in the 6 days coming down to here,
That's
the roundup.
right, yeah.
So
Every farm has to send someone.
right.
They are now coming right from the mountain here, and they have been there right since the beginning of July, where they graze freely all for the summer,
Right.
without any attention of anybody.
What kind of grasses and herbs are they grazing on when they're up in the mountains?
Well, there are grasses and there are various kinds of herbs, flowering plants, bushes, and things like that.
Right.
That's what we believe makes the lamb so good.
That's what tastes so good, the way it grazes and stuff.
That's
Yes.
exactly, yeah.
So it's all natural, range fed, no hormones,
Oh, no hormones
no
whatsoever.
pesticides on the land at all.
Oh, no. Nothing has been done to this land.
Right.
And hormones are totally forbidden as for feed.
Right.
Not at all used.
A true spring range lamb, like I said.
True spring range lamb. I think
Yes.
that's very fair to say.
It is, and I think it shows definitely in the flavor of the lamb.
Yeah.
You know, it's what makes Icelandic lamb so great.
Exactly.
So what are we doing now here? We're going to
Well, now we are just passing them over across this river.
bridge, the river
over
here,
bridge,
yes.
And then they will be driven down the valley. It's going to take all day. They'll probably be at 7 o'clock when they get to the sorting place.
That's where the corral or the pen is, where
Yeah.
the roundup actual structure
And,
is.
But they will have to stop once or twice on the way to let them rest.
It's quite a sight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It really is beautiful. Very dramatic.
And now the main work of the people here will be to keep the flock as tightly together as
As,
they can,
as
because-
close to the road as possible.
Exactly, because they will want to spread all over and some will try
Graze.
to run away and graze. They are not all happy with being driven down from the mountains.
Right. So obviously what they graze on, the different wild berries and herbs and grasses affect the final flavor of the meat.
Oh yes, there's no doubt about that. And we think it's very important to give them the free grazing in the summer for the quality.
What about the sustainability about the amount of sheep and all the grazing land? I mean, is that a concern?
It is a concern, and we have to be careful in this country not to overgraze. The soil is very vulnerable,
Right.
But we have no serious problem of overgrazing.
So this breed's been here for 1,100 years.
1100 years. And despite all the different colors you see, they are all one breed. And they can be either polled or horned, black or white, or all the different colors that you see in the flock here.
So this is basically the last stop for this 5 or 6 day journey.
Yeah.
What is the percentage of lamb that are let go into naturally grains during the summertime that don't make it back to this roundup stage?
I would guess maybe 0.5, something less than 1% of
Really?
the lambs that are
Don't make it back to this final
never
stop.
come back as well.
Mother Nature culls the herd. Sick or weak lambs are not pumped full of chemicals, no additives used. Natural selection is left to do its work.
Is this method of rounding the sheep up the way they graze naturally in the summer, is that unique to Iceland, or?
I think nowadays it is more or less unique. I think this sort of community thing here is quite unique. I've never heard of it anywhere else in the world.
That's what makes it the big celebration that it is, because of everybody's involved, all the farmers, all the communities are involved in this one process of bringing all the sheep down from the mountains.
I mean, as long as that keeps in the mentality of the farmers, I think they'll survive.
Chef Tunks joins the farm families as the sheep are shooed into a corral to be sorted by their owners.
You're taking away the liberty they have enjoyed for the whole summer, so
Right.
they don't like this.
No, they've been free range the whole summer. This is back to
Yeah. Now it's back to business again. I'll go rest
finally got the sheep into the roundup structure here, the sorting structure.
Yeah, well, that's just it. Inside there, you can see the people from the farms. Each one is pulling out their own sheep, and each farm has a pen around the main sorting place.
Right.
So they just put the sheep in there, and then later on today, when all the sheep have been cleared out of the common area, they drive them home to the farms. Let's go in and
We'll sort some sheep.
sort some sheep.
That's
yeah.
right.
Okay.
This is definitely pretty wild.
Yeah.
You're like a sea of sheep. Tell me a little bit about the sheep itself and its the characters that make it a good eating sheep right now. I mean, how do you tell?
Okay. Take this little ram, for example. When we are judging it and selecting for breeding, we will particularly feel the thickness of the loin.
So that's the loin back here.
That's the loin back here. That's the rack area.
Right.
So we don't want to feel the bones, but we don't want it either to be over fat. And then we grasp the legs and feel the thickness of the muscles in the legs.
Right.
Right,
I see,
like this. Yeah. And what we are particularly breeding for, we want a thick back muscle and we want chunky legs.
Yeah. Right here, the sheep we've got around us, how many different farms are represented? So if I'm recognizing tags or ear cuts, how many would be in this
I would guess
herd around us?
around 20.
20
Around
farms.
20 farms.
So there's 20 distinguishing tags and markings
Yeah.
on the ears to sort from.
If you look at the ears here, this is a particular pattern. It has been cut
Right there.
right there. And on the other side, there will be a number for the farm. You see here, it says 32AB.
Right.
And that means a particular farm in this area.
Let's go wrangle some sheep. So by the cut and by the tag here, 0013.
Well, Chef, do they teach this in the Culinary Academy? The directions read, take one sheep. But this is probably not what they meant.
Okay, Jeff, now you take it to the pen.
Ready?
Yeah.
They're strong.
They are pretty strong.
They are strong, I tell you, they're deceiving.
Everyone is in on the roundup. No one too young, no one too old.
Og segja hún það að allir fyrir með okkur eins og svona hressuður og nýræður. Já, bara því ég hef alltaf borðað tindakjöt og unnið fé.
He says, I mean, he's often asked why he has such good health, nearly 90 years old. The sole reason is working with sheep and eating sheep all my life.
Our chef hears from Birker Thrustarsson about how the roundup concludes gently at each farm.
A master chef in Washington.
How you doing?
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
He would like to know a little bit more about your farm and your sheep.
Once you get them all into this pen, what do you do next?
Then we driving them, when most of the people are gone, we are driving them over the hill there,
To your farm?
over the river and over the hill and to our farm and put up to the next mark. With so many sheep, and it's very important that everybody came in helping together to put the sheep in the right place. Well, gentlemen, opening gate.
Exactly across the mountain over all the hills over there, straight to his farm. It takes him approximately 2 hours now to drive.
2
the
hour journey still.
Yep.
They really don't want to get wet. They have grazed for months within sight of the river without going in it and are now thoroughly reluctant. But the drivers are persistent, and some of the leaders go in, and the rest, well, they are sheep.
We say the farmers are the backbone on the countryside. But for us, it's about culture. It's about the life. Our culture relates back 1100 years in this country and before that in Norway. And we don't want to lose that inheritance altogether. So one way of preserving it is to make sure that the farmers can survive in the countryside. I must say, I'm proud of being a part of a nation. We are only 285,000 in a relatively big country, very sparsely populated. And to be able to maintain the full services and the infrastructure and all the quality of life that is possible in this country, I think it is amazing for so few people.
My grandparents were farmers, yes. They had around 2,000 acres in southwest Iowa. And it's really a family event. From the oldest grandfather out there to the youngest grandchild is involved in the day-to-day activities and chores. And we saw that in the roundup the other day when you have 4 or 5 generations out there helping sort the sheep and help them take on the horseback back to the farm. And so you really want to support these small little boutique farmers and fishermen. You can have the best ingredients, it's going to come back on the plate. And that's why we do these trips and try to find and source these products such as the Icelandic lamb, that you've seen it, how it's raised, how it's grown, the whole process from the mountains to the farmer to the plate, and it's just an incredible product. What we do as chefs is try to find these great products. We're going to start off with about a 3-ounce piece of fresh Icelandic cod. As a chef, when we saw the other day fishing, the ideal way to buy or purchase a cod is to get it whole. That way we always can tell how red the gills are, how clear the eyes are, if they're not sunken in, if they're bulging and real vibrant like it's been in the water recently, if the flesh feels nice and firm and not spongy and soft. And the number one is the smell. I mean, fish should not smell fishy. So that's the key. So obviously this is a fresh piece of cod. You can tell how translucent it is. Older cod becomes more of a smoky white or opaque look to it. This is real clear and translucent. We're going to take a little bit of the Malden sea salt, and we're going to do both sides of the fish. And for this, because it's a nice white flaky fish, I'm going to do a little bit of white pepper instead of the dark pepper. I'm going to take this mixture of mayonnaise, mustard, fresh grated horseradish, not the prepared kind, but the fresh grated horseradish, and lemon juice. And I'm going to take this and put a liberal amount and spread it on top of the cod here. Cod is such a flaky, tender fish that you really have to be careful when you handle it. Sometimes it has a tendency to really fall apart and stuff. By this method, with the crust on top, sort of keeps the integrity of the dish together. Plus, it adds a nice contrast and texture. Then I'm going to take that side that I put that mixture on, I'm going to put it flat into the breadcrumbs. Come up like that. And I'm going to take a little lightly oiled dish like that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And I'm going to drizzle that on top of the fish. And then I'm going to put this in a broiler. And so it's going to cook it from the top, so it'll help brown these breadcrumbs. And then for the butter sauce, it's a classic beurre blanc or white butter sauce. It's a reduction of white wine and shallots till it's almost dry. Then I add a little bit of cream to reduce that down. Then I just whisk in the Icelandic butter. I'm going to take what I think I need for this portion and add, I would say about 3 or 4 ounces maybe. And I took fresh dill and blanched it very quickly and salted the water, boiling water. Then I shocked it in ice water. Then I wrung the water out of it, so just sort of that shocked dill. And then I put it into a blender and I pureed it with a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to go ahead and add this dill puree to the sauce. Our cod's almost ready. We're going to get a plate here. We'll get their trout roe. You can also use salmon roe here. This is a local product from the fresh glacier-fed stream lakes here. We're going to put a little bit of the potato puree in the middle of the plate. And then we're going to take a little bit of the dill beurre blanc. We're going to garnish this with a little bit of the trout eggs. Little pockets of salty snap around the plate. Let's go check the cod. I believe it's ready. It's been in the broiler for probably about 3.5 to 4 minutes. And it's going to have a nice crust on it. You have that nice mixture of horseradish and mustard and mayonnaise that sort of adheres the breadcrumbs on top. So we're going to put it on top of the potato puree. And then we're going to reinforce our dill with a nice sprig of dill garnish. And there you have horseradish crusted Icelandic cod with a potato puree, dill butter, and a little bit of trout caviar. Next, you want to do a sort of a late summer preparation of one of my favorite with lamb. We're going to do a caponata. It's got a mixture of zucchini, yellow squash, some Roma tomatoes, some eggplant, and then the flavoring, I really like the mix, the blend. You have the sweet from the raisins. You have a little bit of bitter and salty from the black olives and capers, a little bit of textural crunch from the pine nuts, and then you have the vinegar, red wine vinegar. So it sort of melds those flavors together, which I really think offsets the taste of the lamb. So it's just a real simple caponata relish. Then I made a reduction of some reduced lamb stock, like a jus, with some balsamic vinegar. So it's a nice, almost like a balsamic little glaze. And then I'm going to finish that off with one of lamb's natural complements, is some chiffonade of fresh mint. People who don't like lamb need to try this. Icelandic lamb, you know, it's very mild. It doesn't have any of the connotation of gaminess that a lot of people put with lamb. It's very lean, it's very good for you. I mean, it doesn't have much fat. It's got a little bit of marbleization, but compared to beef cut, this has a lot more, less fat. The pan's pretty hot here. One thing when you're cooking in this high heat, always try to lay the meat away from you so that if you do splash oil, it will splash away from you and not on you. So, you know, it's so lean that you really want to cook this on the rare to medium rare side. If you don't, it becomes very sort of dry because there's not much marbleization in it, so it's so lean. So in the meantime, I'm going to get a little bit of mint ready for the pluche for a garnish if I wanted to. And then I'm going to take some leaves and just do a very quick chiffonade on it. I'm going to level it off now. We'll take a small ramekin mold and take some of this caponata. You can serve this hot like it is now. If you wanted to let it cool to room temperature, almost like a ratatouille type thing would be fine also. So the key is you want to let this loin and let it rest for 2 to 3 minutes. I like to leave the slices in a little bit larger slices. And we're going to take some of this balsamic lamb jus. And you don't want to pour right on top of the meat. You want to preserve the nice medium rare look of the meat and stuff. So we're going to just take this and just drizzle a little bit around. Take a little bit of the mint. And then if you want to take a small leaf and for the garnish. And then there's it's a pan-seared Icelandic lamb loin with a basil, mint, lamb jus reduction and a little bit of a nice caponata relish. Once you see where food comes from, when you go to the cod fisherman and bring it out of the water and see it that vibrantly fresh, going to the roundup and watching the sheep come down from the mountain after grazing for 3 months, it really makes my job so much easier.
In Iceland, it is not just some government agency or an environmental group that is concerned about keeping air, water, soil, and animals clean and free of chemicals. It's the people themselves who care.